Today we're going to review place value, and we're going to work on the left-hand side of the decimal. So we're talking about whole numbers. Next lesson we will venture to the right-hand side of the decimal and go into parts of a whole. We need to remember that numbers are written in groups of 3, preferably without a comma between the different groups. You will notice in many American textbooks and worksheets and websites that they insert a comma between the numbers. The first group that we're looking at is the units or ones group. And students learn very early on that the first column is the ones, the second is the tens, and the third is the hundreds. This column repeats itself, this group repeats itself over and over. However, what the group represents changes as we increase to the left. So although we could have ones in this area, the next grouping is known as the thousands. The next grouping, the millions. And the next grouping, where we're going to stop today, is the billions. So you can see that if I was to insert a 2 here and a 1 here, we have the number 21. Red, we have 1, 1, and we have 2 groups of 10. If we counted by 10 twice, we would pronounce this 20. Sometimes students make the mistake and say 421, and although that is not incorrect, it is more acceptable to say 421, because as we get into using decimals, the word "and" represents the decimal point. So we don't want to confuse the two. You will notice that I'm going to insert the number 0 here right now, and a 7, and then a 6. And so if you were asked to identify what place value the number 7 is in, you would say I have 7 10,000s, or I have 7 tens, which is equal to 70,421. And this pattern repeats itself again, as I said, with ones, tens, and hundreds being the repetitious part. And again, ones, tens, hundreds, goes on for billions. And it just becomes a matter of plugging in numbers. So we're looking at this new number which says 923 space 670 space 421. That is read out loud as 923,670,421, and we don't say ones, we just leave it at the end. So students are going to have to take their worksheet and at times circle the correct digit that's in a place value, or identify the column and grouping that a number falls in. So if I had a 5 right here and a 0 right there, and you were asked to identify what place value is the 5 in, well, there are no 5s here and no 5s here and none here, but we see one in the second one over in the billions group, and you'll notice that the second one over in each of the groups is the tens. So if you counted by tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, the 5 is in the 50 billion column.